This is Acts chapter 16, verse 16 to 24. So this woman Lydia and her whole household had become believers, and they'd been baptized. And Paul and Silas and Luke and Timothy would be going down to this place of prayer to share the gospel with the people who were there. And it says, and it happened that as we were going to the place of prayer, which would have been this place by the river, a slave girl having a spirit of divination met us, who was bringing her master much profit by fortune telling. And following after Paul and us, she crept crying out, saying, These men are bondservants of the Most High God, who are proclaiming to you the way of salvation. And she continued doing this for many days. But Paul was greatly annoyed and turned and said to the spirit, I command you in the name of Jesus Christ to come out of her. And it came out at that very moment. But when her master saw that their hope of profit was gone, they seized Paul and Silas and dragged them into the marketplace before the authorities. And when they had brought them to the chief magistrates, they said, These men are throwing our city into confusion, being Jews, and proclaiming customs which it is not lawful for us to accept or to observe. And the crowd rose up together against them, and the chief magistrates tore their robes off them and proceeded to order them to be beaten with rods. When they had struck them with many blows, they threw them into the prison, commanding the jailer to guard them securely. And he, having received such a command, threw them into the inner prison and fastened their feet in the stocks. So quietly, Paul has been going on sharing the gospel, and there's been this girl who's just been harassing him, saying what is true. These are men who are bondservants of the Most High God. Yeah, proclaiming to you the way of salvation. It's exactly what they were doing. Perhaps some would have kind of reveled in this notoriety, but not Paul. He saw where this was coming from, and it was a work of the enemy. And he was stirred in his spirit. And eventually he said, I command you in the name of Jesus Christ to come out of her. And it left. Wonderful. This girl was delivered from this spirit of divination. And that's where the trouble started. Because this slave girl was owned by somebody who was making money from her fortune telling. And that's when things turned nasty. And that's where the masters took Paul, took him to the magistrate, stirred up the crowd, and then the crowd gathered together against them. And the chief magistrates tore their robes off them, proceeded to order them to be beaten with rods. They struck them with blows and they threw them into prison, commanding that the jailer guard them securely. And he fastened their feet with stocks. What a turn of events, really. What a turn of events. Paul delivering this woman from this demon, and it ends up with a riot, with Paul and Barnabas and Silas being arrested and beaten with rods and put in jail. Who knows how that's going to end up? But Paul and Silas, they had been obedient to the call of God, and they'd shared the gospel, and they'd cast out demons as Jesus had commanded.